Hey, you guys. Back on the prisoner of war camp stuff, they're showing a picture online where they're supposedly taking Australian, detainees. And it's actually a photograph of one of these internment camps that were created to keep people as slaves. So, a prisoner of war camp, a POW camp, is a site for the containment of enemy fighters captured by a belligerent power in the time of war. Detention of prisoners of war before the development of camps. They say they were used as slaves. I've been telling you this. It's a loophole in the law they've created. I told you what it said in the documents, that they're going after a certain race, detaining that race, and keeping them as slaves, basically. Not giving them any access to their own earnings, not giving them right to own a firearm for protection, not giving them right to freedom of speech, right to go home. So you can look at this yourself too, but I just wanted to show you. We got Norman Cross. It's a prison in England. And we have, Lana Del Rey calling out Norman all the time, right? I mean, they tell us this stuff. They just don't tell us what it means. Camp Douglas, remember, the name they gave me was Douglas. My last name was supposedly Douglas. I looked up this. They had the people held at Camp Douglas. They bought in to observe them. And they created a tower for them to go spy on them for money. It wasn't a lot of money. It was like 10 cents back in the day. But these things are still going on. I just want you to know. There are still prisoners of war. And the reason I know this is because when I was looking up the Black Panther Party, it talked about never borrowing anything, never taking anything from, another person who was black. It didn't say anything about, it also discussed prisoners of war and the dignity of prisoners of war. It also had an extermination, what are those called, where it's like a death chair. I can't think of what it's called. Execution chair. So they are given the right to do something to the prisoners of war. But the people that are prisoners of war are a different race. And that's apartheid in our country. So, where certain groups are being exterminated and other groups are given the rights to exterminate those groups. That is, or create slaves from, the products of those people. Under IVF law, they can keep those children as slaves because the mother is not claiming them because the mother's a prisoner. I mean, it's a very weird way they did this, but I guess it's, these are some of the camps. They were designated numerically. The POWs often gave the camps a name. So we got Chang Song, north of Camp 2, near Camp 5, near, how do you say that? Payaktong? Camp 6, near, you know what I mean? Like, is Pukchen, Swan, Bean Camp. Okay, Bean is woman. Bean means woman in Ireland. Camp DeSoto. Suwon Mining Camp. And this is interesting. North Vietnamese Army camps, Alcatraz. Right. It's pretty interesting. Rock pile. So, it says that they're keeping people as slaves. This is Camp 5, Guantanamo, right? So, when you lease land, you can do business at other sections of the world, right? You have to understand how leasing works. So, just because this land is supposedly in Cuba doesn't mean that this camp doesn't move around, because this camp is CIA camp, Camp 5. Camp 9 holds the children who are not, I don't believe, are actually children, but they come here as children and they just keep them as children. ISN 666 is my internment number. ISN is I serve not Satan, right? So there's also a longer number, a longer code. But they strip you of your names when you're brought here to dehumanize you as a torture. So they do this to children. I want you to know, because I never knew I was from England until recently. Nor did I know about the shadow deportation. So once you're deported, on paper, immigration they don't have the authority to help you. So, anyway, this is Gitmo, the coast of Guantanamo. First opened after September 11th. There's that number again. 9 is the Supreme Court. There's 9, I think there's 9 justices on the Supreme Court. 39 remain there. The camp was established by this guy. I think you guys don't want to hear what I think about this person, do you? I'm sure you don't. So, let's see. January, let's see what Trump did about it. So, Donald Trump wanted to keep it open indefinitely. In May of 2018, a prisoner was repatriated to Saudi Arabia during Trump's term. We got Obama trying to shut it down, but he had some problems because he said the people located within the camps, which are actually just people like me, who were stalked and tortured by a community of people because they're told of our status as prisoners of war, where they can just, rape, pillage, burn people as prisoners of war. So their concern about releasing them into the public, giving them legal standing, is that they will go and take revenge, I guess, on the people that tortured them. When really, I just think most of the people just want to go home and be left alone by the military-industrial complex. I also find it unusual that the Pfizer fire was the animal research lab. They claim no humans were hurt. No animals or humans were hurt in the fire, but I think that's a little bit suspicious, right? What were they destroying? So the United States Congress passed laws to prohibit detainees from Guantanamo being imprisoned in the U.S. During President Obama's administration, the number of inmates was reduced to about 245 to 41, right? But they are imprisoned in the U.S. All you have to do is look what happened to me. They did imprison me in the U.S., where I pay my own rent. They talk about detainees paying their own rent. And Camp 5 is in a secret location, so it's Camp 7, run and operated by the CIA. Okay. So then you go down here. So Trump wanted to keep it open indefinitely. And then Biden says he's going to shut down the facility before he leaves office. In July of 2021, an additional detainee was released. I don't know who was released. Torture, sexual abuse. I mean, everything I tried to sue for, you guys. I tried to sue for rape. I tried to sue for torture. I tried to sue for these, right? High value prisoners. They always show this, but it's women. It's women because they want eggs, and they're saying it's these people. I guarantee it's not these people. I could bet, you know, high value detainees, extrajudicial prisoners of the United States, to get more children they can do experiments on. I believe these are all women. They don't look scary. They're just normal women that have a specific genetic or blood profile that they want to breed from and keep those children also as slaves for more breeding. So I don't know what the factors are. RH null blood is the most dangerous blood to have because scientists will do anything, and I mean anything, to get it because it's worth more than gold, that blood. All right. So that's what I believe a high value detainee is. They have eggs and they have bloodline and probably a specific blood. So they want to breed more children with that blood because that blood is worth more than gold, right? And hopefully they get a girl. Okay, if they get a boy, they can. The boys don't have rights either. The boys don't have rights either, but they can. It says they can run. They are allowed to run. I don't know what that means. Run. The women aren't allowed to work at all. I don't know if they're changing that or not. Extraordinary rendition, also called irregular rendition or forced rendition, is the government-sponsored abduction and extrajudicial transfer of a person from one country to another with the purpose of circumventing the former country's law and interrogation. This is what happened to me, I'm telling you. I wish I could. Let's see what this says. I don't know. Yeah, child abduction. Your husband has been kidnapped. Call the police or the FBI. He dies. Cooperate, he lives. Co-op. Again, I told you MK Ultra is a co-op. Miss Adolf Coors. Okay, beer again. Place money in this letter and envelope in one suitcase or bag. Doesn't even matter about that because it's the government doing it. And then they create all this stuff, right? So it's child abduction. And I've explained this before. They're abducting children with certain bloodlines from, it's called extrajudicial killing and extrajudicial, sorry, I can't remember what it's called. Transfer, right? Extrajudicial rendition, ER. And then they tell the people in your community you're being kept as a war criminal because of the worth of your genetics. And then you get stalked by literally everyone, which is totally illegal. But they do it anyway. Black sites, covert prisons operated, and whose existence is denied. No. But the refugees supposedly coming from Afghanistan, which I believe to be on U.S. soil, are being resettled here. And I think they should have the right to go home. The legal right. That's all I have to say.